Watch what's approaching, the supreme moment. Reality striking closer than it seems, don't it? Go ahead, it's for the taking if you want it. If not, the dream dies and you'll be forever haunted. Then confront it.
What's good? I wanted to try something different today and run the OG Strength Gogeta max level 120 before the EZA and tackle on Super Battle Row, see if we can clear it. Now, as you can see, my guy is only at 69% potential. My friend lead is only at 55%, or actually this one is 3%. So these guys are actually going to be the weakest link out of the group. As you can see, a bunch of the units included on the team are stunning type units. It just makes life tremendously easier, especially when you're only facing a couple of enemies. It does really benefit quite a lot, especially if the stunning mechanisms kick in. But it all comes down to RNG, and yeah, we'll see how this goes. But it should be interesting. The Super Saiyan Gotenks unit is fully EZA'd, so of course great support for the team when facing multiple enemies. You actually get a 40% increase to attack and defense based on that. The unit also does have a medium chance to stun the enemies. The Super Saiyan Goku in the middle has a high chance to stun. And of course Gogeta is going to be one of the weakest links on the team. Surprisingly, it's kind of ironic how that is the case, but because my version's only at 69% and my friend lead is at 3%, that's pretty much what the case is here. So really banking on the stuns to kick in as much as possible. Otherwise, it's going to be very, very difficult to clear this shit. But hopefully, you know, like, Jiren also helps out a lot because he does have that medium chance, I believe, to stun the entire enemy field. Once that does, you don't have to worry about any incoming attacks. Plus, Jiren has guaranteed critical hits against stunned enemies, so that is also another reason why he's included on the team. In terms of links, he doesn't necessarily link the greatest with a lot of the units. For the most part, it does require like 6 key meters to be filled up before he gets that super attack. So sometimes it is a little bit of an issue, depending on how the Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta rotation is. That unit is another one that kind of tends to struggle with the key a little bit, but as long as they get enough key to get that super attack, I mean, most of these guys have the ability to stun the enemy, so that's really what is the main focus here. And even the LR Pan unit also does have a rare chance to stun. Along with that, she does have the ability to reduce damage taken and also the recovery HP, so very, very beneficial unit to have on as well. Alright, so this is definitely taking a lot longer than I'd like for it to have, but at least Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta can tank a lot of the attacks here. And yeah, it really does ride on Vegeta and Goku as well as the Gotenks unit being able to stun the enemies. Otherwise, we're going to end up taking too much in damage to actually survive the round, you know what I mean? So, we got the first stun kicked in. Alright, let's see how he does here. So we got another stun, so we're good pretty much, I think. Let's see. Yeah, so yeah, at this point, like, pretty much 2 out of 3 units are stunned up. We're going to go ahead and put the Pan unit up front. She has the best chances of, you know, surviving any potential supers and whatnot. We'll go ahead and try and get rid of the Raditz unit, pretty much, you know, with the lowest HP available, and then we'll work our way toward either Vegeta or Nappa, depending on you know, how things look in terms of like incoming attacks on the next rotation. So at this point, I mean, things are okay, things are pretty stable, but I actually did test this quite a bit, and anything can change in any given second because it is a key +3 attack increase of 3,000 team setup. So HP levels are certainly a lot lower than your typical, you know, teams that you run right now. It's more of the old school metas back in the day. So it does make things a lot difficult. Like, I mean, 108,000 is the total HP available. So given that, you know, some of these units outside of Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta can take up to, like, you know, 30 to 40k in damage. I mean, you know, a couple of attacks and you're pretty much done for, you know what I mean? So this is very difficult, and this is why I wanted to kind of challenge this and see if I can actually clear it. So we got to get rid of Raditz. I was hoping he would be eliminated the last round, but he pretty much had just enough HP to prolong the inevitable, basically. But He should be good after this. So the stun didn't kick in there, but we're okay. We're gonna go ahead and try and get rid of the Raditz unit with the Gogeta attack. Hopefully 257,000 is enough in terms of attack stats to eliminate it. Yeah, there we go. So now we have Vegeta stunned, and we have to work on Nappa now. So we've got first attack coming from Nappa. So this is one of those situations where I know Jiren can't tank this attack, so we're gonna have to go ahead and recover HP along with reducing some damage here with the Snake Princess, and then hopefully we can get that. You know, honestly, I made a mistake here because honestly I should have just attacked the Vegeta unit with Jiren because he would have gotten guaranteed criticals there, but I think the thought process at this point was basically to eliminate Nappa as soon as possible and just have Vegeta remaining. So, you know, as long as he gets criticals here, it doesn't really matter, which he didn't, obviously, but we did reduce the defense for him, and then hopefully this guy gets stunned here. Nope, it does not happen, so we'll see if B-Pen can take care of business here, and that's not the case, but she can tank the attack, so that certainly helps. And then we've got the, you know, Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta. Honestly, Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta and Gogeta would link a lot better, but I didn't want to break the rotation with Vegeta and the Super Saiyan Goku because both units, you know, are stunning type units. So you gotta include them on as many rotations as you can. That's pretty much the whole point of this. Otherwise, it just, you know, fucks everything up. It basically messes up the whole system. You know what I mean? So that's really the focus. And yeah, I mean, it's kind of nerve-wracking a little bit because if the stuns fail, then your chances of being KO'd is extremely high. So it really does bank on the fact that you have to like pray that the stun mechanics kick in. Otherwise, you're pretty much fucked. I mean, that's simply put, that's the way to look at it. Alright, so both units are stunned. We're getting guaranteed crits with Jiren. We're going to go ahead and focus on Nappa, eliminate him out of the picture, and then we can just focus on Vegeta. So that's really what's going to make things easier. And again, like this setting right here is against 3 enemies. If it's against 2, it's obviously a lot easier because it basically minimizes the amount of units you have to stun. Now, the hard part is when you're facing enemies that are totaling like 5, you know, like the Cells with the Cell Juniors, or like the Ginyu Force, or what's another one, like Bojack, you know, Galactic Warriors or whatever group and whatnot. It definitely makes things a lot more difficult, and survivability rates pretty much plummet in that type of setting because if the stuns don't kick in, you're pretty much going to be KO'd. I mean, that's just the bottom line. So that's what makes this extremely difficult. At this point, you know, if 1 out of the 2 stuns kick in, we're pretty much in good shape. You know what I mean? So, you know, it definitely makes the odds of success a lot higher. Not that he's going to survive this anyway, but, you know, if he had a full HP bar, you know, as long as you stun 1 out of 2 chances, you know, it makes things, the survival rate that much higher. Okay, so we actually survived the first battle. Moving on to the second one, this is against 3 enemies. You got Frieza, Zarbon, and Dodoria. So, you know, we'll have to see how things go here. We got a lot of attacks incoming with only 1 chance to stun. I don't think Jiren stunned the field, so we'll have to go ahead and use the Ghost Usher here. And we're going to go ahead and try and get a stun at least from the Gotenks unit. We'll focus on Frieza because I think a lot of attacks do come from the main leader out of the enemy group, so I think it'll be better to go ahead and stun Frieza here and then move on to the next round and slowly cut away HP on the other units. So again, I think if my Gogeta at least had 2 dupes with like level 15 additionals and, you know, the either crits or evasion levels, things would have been a lot easier, I think. But the fact that, you know, my guy for Gogeta is 69% and my friendly's only at 3% makes things that much more difficult, you know what I mean? So maybe I'll try this again at some point and see if it's a lot easier with a, you know, 2 dupes or 100% potential level 120 Gogeta versus like a 1 dupe and essentially 0 potential system Gogeta lead, you know what I mean? So that's what makes things quite difficult. We did get Frieza stunned, so we can focus on Dodoria, and then I think I'm gonna go ahead and try. I think I was gonna stun Zarbon, but I think I was like, just in case the stunning for Dodoria fails, I think I went ahead and made that decision. I will just go ahead and focus on Super Saiyan Goku's attack against him, just in case Vegeta's stun fails. So we'll actually see if that pays off or it actually kicks me in the ass in the next rotation, because Zarbon isn't stunned. So yeah, he was stunned right there, so I could have went towards Zarbon instead, but you know, sometimes you have to minimize risk as much as possible, but by doing so, you're creating additional risks in a new area. That's the, you know, that's the double-edged sword about it. All right, this is the part where it's like, what do we do here, right? It's a matter of like, how many super attacks can we get, and the fact that their defense is very low, so it's like, if we use a Whis item here, is that enough to survive any incoming attacks? It is a hell of a risk, especially given that there are a lot of attacks coming. I didn't want to break Jiren out of the first 2 slots in the rotation, but because we do have 4 attacks coming up in the very first slot of the rotation, I was like really forced into putting B-Pen in that slot just to mitigate damage as much as possible. So yeah, it's probably gonna hurt me in a little bit. And then we're gonna switch back to Dodoria. Hopefully Jiren can finish that off, but you know, we'll see. It all also rides on the fact that if Gotenks is able to stun Zarbon as well. I mean, there's so many different variables at play here in terms of like surviving the actual rounds each time. So there's a lot more weight behind each decision, and I think it's a lot of fun going back to these formats, you know what I mean? Because yeah, there are tough events like the Legendary Goku Battle and Infinite Dragon Ball History and other category stages of Super Battle Road, but each decision here, it really does have significant amount of weight, you know, behind making decisions. So, you know, we have a situation here where we have to have the stuns to activate for both the units. You know, both Goku and Vegeta have to pull off the stuns. Otherwise, you know, Gogeta at the end is going to be taking a lot of attacks, and you know, I'm at this point where I'm like, I have to conserve items as well because we still have 2 more additional battles coming up. So it's, you know, and there you go. You know, the stun failed with Frieza, and we'll see here. You know, yeah. So at least Zarbon did stun, but a lot of attacks are coming against Gogeta. So it's like, do we have enough HP left over? You know, these are like big gambles that you have to make with this. And yeah, we're pretty much dead. So that's exactly what happened. It's tremendously difficult, but I think I'll revisit this again. But hopefully you guys enjoy this different type of content. All right, peace out.